Hello, my friends. From the center of the galaxy, live direct to you, this is ForceCenter, show about Star Wars, pop culture, and the ultimate adventure, life itself. I'm Cat Knapsack.
I'm Joseph Scrimshaw, and I'm happy to be here. That's it.
We are happy. That's it. That's it. End of
That's
story.
it. That's all.
That's it. We're here live on Monday, as we often do for Star Wars news, but you might be watching a little bit later. If you are, leave a comment that you're part of the Watch Later crew, or if you're listening on the podcast, reach out on social media and let us know where you let us know exactly where you're listening. Car, office, okay. Demographics, we need those. Here we go. A lot of our regulars checking in there, including Amaranth, already with a generous super chat to get the party started. Happy for any sequel talk. General Cameroni here as well. Savers from the Monday Blues. All right, that's we are going to talk Star Wars news. Yeah, right. Some stuff coming up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we do that, as always, as we settle into the show, we'll let you know that this particular episode and ForceCenter overall is sponsored by our own merch shop on Fourth Wall. Check out our merch store there. Pick up a T-shirt, coaster, pint glass, tote bag. We all need tote bags. Represent ForceCenter out in the galaxy. You can go to forcecenter-shop.fourthwall.com, forcecenter-shop.fourthwall.com. Link down below if you're watching on YouTube. As I said, you can find us on social media, but Joseph, we're highlighting where to find us.
That is right. You can find us on Blue Sky and Threads. In the episode that'll be coming out later this week, we went on about Blue Sky and Threads just a little bit, but we are on both places. Ken and I are both trying to do a better job about posting more often. So please come find us there, and we will remember to post even more Blue Sky and Threads.
And yes, and if you engage, we'll find reason to post more engagement. Exhausted already. But no. There you go. All right. As always, we like to catch up with Star Wars or life adventures, and sometimes they collide. You got anything cooking, or did anything cook in your world?
It is a very, very cookie, not cookies and cookie. This has been a really busy week. Last week, shot this 6-minute short film, and I thought I was keeping it real simple, but I've been editing it, and it's for this group, this accountability group, where you have a limited amount of time to make a horror film. And then the accountability part is if you don't hand it in on time, you owe the group $100. So it's just this way to be like, okay, you said you're going to make it, you're going to make it. And then if people don't make it, and then everybody who did finish their film gets a percentage of the $100. And usually people just finish their films and there's no money, and it's great. But it means I've been on deadline. And it was supposed to be due on Friday, and then they changed it, so it's due later today. And I was like, I can finish it yesterday on Sunday. I was like, I can finish it. I'm just gonna get up early. So I got up at like 5 a.m. working all day until my wife got home, and then today I got up at 4 a.m. and worked for 5 hours before our first recording. Just a little more to go. So that's my main adventure, but the Star Wars of it, Ken, is yesterday I was editing away, and I was having fun, but also like, I got to get this done so that I can't really do anything else. But then I saw on social media about how StarWars.com was posting about the 50th anniversary of the first day of filming of Star Wars. And I took some time to read that in-depth article, and it was so cool. It was so great. We say on ForceCenter, and other people do as well, that you can always find new things to love about Star Wars, or refresh your Star Wars love by looking at it in a different way. And to see in the StarWars.com article this detailed breakdown of A camera, B camera, what were the shots, how many setups did they do, this very sort of the very real technical reality of filmmaking, not the what was George's vision, did he look cool in the hat and point, what's his film theory? No, just like literally, we shot over this guy's shoulder, that camera is run by this guy, then a wide, like all that real technical stuff that means more to me now because that's what I've been doing than it would have. As a kid, I would have been like, cool, well, who cares? Right. It was great to just find Star Wars again in a different way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And proof there that your relationship with Star Wars can only continue but change and grow based on what's going on in your life. And it re-inspires you all over again. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really great. Yeah, and always very inspiring because he had so many problems.
Yes. including that cinematographer that hated him, right?
I think they butted heads a little bit, which I really understand because he's used to being hands-on, and the British are like, no, you don't touch the camera, George. Yeah.
Yes. That's what the Brits are known for. Don't touch their cameras.
Right. The secret Monty Python film, Don't Touch Our Cameras. Yeah.
Indeed. That's a great Star Wars adventure. Mine was a little less in terms of Star Wars, though. I do talk about it on the show coming out Wednesday, but I've been having fun revisiting the films and talking about Star Wars, coming back to connect with you, or you kind of reconnect with your love for it, just watching some of the movies that we're doing on the Star Wars Ranked series. We're doing our favorite scenes in them. And, I forgot that we did Solo. Rogue One will be next. We're kind of going that order, but I skipped ahead to like New Hope, and that led me to Empire. And it's just been a fun adventure. And it seems weird to say now after all these years that to have Star Wars on isn't a rare thing at all anymore, but life's busy. We all don't have a lot of time to sit down and watch these things. But when you do, it's a fun reminder of why we came here in the first place as well. So that I was out in a store. I had to run to a store that I try not to go, but I only have an open credit card there, so I need some food. And I took a swing through the toy aisle, and I saw a new line of like figures out that I can't explain. Do you know it was a white box. It wasn't like the peg on the peg kind of card back.
A white box.
It was like a little box, and it had like it was a stormtrooper, and he had like the thing you and I kind of know, like the action pack that's like something that just you put on the figures, probably geared younger. But it's, of course, immediately it was in the clearance aisle section, and you immediately kind of stop and look at it because Star Wars. But what struck me is the figures were very clearly bulkier. They're buff. They're almost like Power of the Force 2.
Yeah.
You've seen these?
Yeah.
What are they?
I can't remember the name of the line. I think they are sort of adjacent to the epic action line, but not the same because they're chunky.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
fair. Like what if a stormtrooper in a moon boot had a baby?
Yeah. I had this reaction of like, are we back there? Is it our Power of the Force 2 so retro that we're going back to that? Which is possible. Anyways, it was fun. I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I didn't pick it up.
Good for you. Good for you. You've got I saw when I was filming at your place, you got a good healthy action figure collection there on your wall.
Still do. Yeah, still do. And still many for sale, but we'll see. But those ones will stay. If they're out and displayed, they're here for good. Even if they're pinned up to a wall with the card backs.
General Cameroni says those are the new fitness influencer and Star Wars crossover where they're all on roids.
Love that.
Excellent.
Star Wars fitness. There you go. All right. With that, our adventures out of the way, we're going to talk a little bit of Star Wars news. I wouldn't describe it as, well, it's a quieter week, but there's also, something to talk about. 4 words.
Yeah. There's a lot of little things and some fun stuff in it. But yes, the breaking news that Ken texted me about last night. John Boyega says 4 words about returning to Star Wars, but there are more than 4 articles. Screen Rant published the first article, I believe, about a panel with John Boyega at MegaCon in Orlando, Florida. Here is the text from the Screen Rant article. While speaking during a panel that was moderated by Screen Rant's Liam Crowley, Boyega, who is best known for portraying Finn in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, was asked about the possibility of reprising his role in future projects. One enthusiastic fan reportedly shouted, "Get Dave on the phone!" And the actor's response immediately grabbed the audience's attention. John Boyega stated, "I actually have, implying that discussions with the president and chief creative officer of Lucasfilm, Filoni, may have already taken place. The brief but significant comment likely has Star Wars fans in a frenzy as they eagerly await the potential return of Finn in future projects." Now, we're going to talk about Finn. We're going to talk about John Boyega. We're going to talk about the legitimate possibilities and excitement, Ken. But first off, this is 4 words. They're meaningful, but 4 words, and one of them is repeated. 2 of them, technically. So are these the smallest number of words we've ever covered as a news item?
I think so. I think so. I'm trying to, Daisy having lunch with Kathleen, that popped up. Oscar Isaac himself, Poe Dameron coming back. If I need another house, I don't know, 5-6 words. Yeah, this might be
Yeah.
it. This might
The
be it.
closest I can think of, it doesn't quite count, but the closest I can think of is Kathleen Kennedy bringing Ewan McGregor out and asking her, "Will you play Obi-Wan Kenobi again?" And him saying, "Yes." That was a whole
true.
announcement, but it was one
Yeah.
word technically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
wanted to poke a little bit of fun at that because I do think we need to be skeptical about these kinds of things. This was at a convention, and he says he's had a conversation with Dave, which is great. Or actually, he says he called him. So
Yes.
get Dave on the phone. I actually have. Okay, so parsing the 4 words, it would sound like John Boyega did succeed in getting Dave Filoni on the phone. And I hope they talked about Finn. So poking fun at it aside, let's talk about the potential meat of it. We'll talk about both the character of Finn and the actor John Boyega, because he has had a lot of things to say, as he has detailed honestly his journey with the character and with Star Wars and Disney. So, Ken, for the character of Finn, why would you like to see him return, and in what kind of story and what kind of context?
Yeah, I would love to see him return, and I'd love to see, the character get to explore beyond. I know the Lego stuff, it's in there as well, but get to explore his relationship with the Force, the growing relationship with the Force, and what that means. Whether it's fully connected to Rey as her as a teacher, him or not, or some other path, doesn't matter to me at this point. Though we're hopeful for still a new Jedi Order film, but for me, the value of that is continuing to find ways, much like we're talking about how Star Wars can change and grow and inspire you all over again. I do believe Finn as a character had a powerful purpose in the story, being about connection and caring, and how that caring goes from one to more, to a group, to a cause. I think that was inspiring, but I do think there's enough understandable criticism, reasonable criticism, and just so much kind of conversation around the character and his perceived lack of an arc, which again I would argue against, but I understand also what's being said, and John has said things in the past that make me agree. If you have all that and you have a chance to revisit the character and build off of that, and then also take the character to new ways and reach the audience that felt they maybe weren't that Finn wasn't as important as he could have been in the story, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's a chance to let's do it. Let's really lean into it and get to focus on him in a way we didn't before.
Yeah, no, I really agree with that. I think would be very excited to see him return, because I think, like Rey, the sequel trilogy is sort of a coming of age story of the character of Finn, of becoming who he's going to be. And I think where he ends up is compassionate, intuitive. I always think the word paladin, like he's not a soldier in terms of a violent man, but like a fighter for a cause, a champion. But is very clear-headed about how he wants to fight. He's compassionate, and I love that his connection with the Force is about listening to instincts. It's about being intuitive and trusting his feelings, and so that's a really interesting character to me, because how does a character like that move forward in the galaxy during a challenging time? He wants to be proactive. He wants to bring people together. Also probably still has plenty of trauma to process from, his lost childhood, his lost family, his lost, a sense of origin. So there's really interesting things to do with the character. And also the sort of a Force Jedi cliffhanger. The Lego Star Wars has its answer, but I would love to see John Boyega run around with a lightsaber, but I'm also very interested in just the idea of having a character who might pursue the Force in a different way. We got great stories in like the High Republic era of different people react to interact with the Force differently, and having him be like, I want to train with the lightsaber, but also I'm just really all about my gut and my friends. That's a really interesting way to access the Force.
Yeah, there's a lot out there conversation wise about if we're going forward with the Jedi, Rey being at the center of that in a lot of ways. Like, would there be new ways to approach it? I'm not saying new rules, but new suggestions down on paper on how we can build the Jedi Order in a new light. And Finn definitely brings a different path absolutely different path to that journey there. And I like you bringing in the High Republic era because that's one of the things that did so well. The different ways the Jedi connect and feel and interpret or even imagine the Force. You could explore that in a new era.
Yeah, yeah. General Cameroni says he would have an amazing Jedi arc because he started out seeking to save himself, then revenge, then finally for the right reason. He has grown so much, and I'd love to see more. Yeah, absolutely agree. I think the big thing, I'm very excited, and who knows if this was part of the content of the phone call between Dave Filoni and John Boyega. Star Wars is in such an interesting place of how many movies are there going to be? How many television shows can there possibly be? If the Simon Kinberg trilogy is basically, yep, it's Rey's New Jedi Order, or it is the Star Wars saga, it is, 10, 11, 12. I don't want Finn to return unless he can be centered. Either have his own arc within a larger film, or really be a revered mentor type if they're jumping forward in the future. But I just feel like after everything that the character and the actor went through, he just can't be a sidekick. And I think that is a danger depending on what story you're telling with Rey. I don't want it to just be like, and Finn is there too, because I don't think that's fair to the character and to what John Boyega has expressed about feeling muted.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, it would be a mistake.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the John Boyega of it. He had lots of legitimate and honest critiques of his experience with Star Wars, as did Oscar Isaac. What are your feelings about John Boyega's journey as an actor, person, navigating everything he's been through, from the career-changing joy of getting cast in Star Wars to the toxic racism he experienced to being centered in The Force Awakens and kind of advertised as possibly the Jedi, maybe the main character, feeling like his role was a little bit limited and more comedic in parts of The Last Jedi. All the stuff that he has talked about.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderfully honest journey, and it's one that we should all listen to. And I'll say up top, even if that includes sometimes I hear what he says, or maybe sometimes reacts to on social media, and I'm like, oh man, I hope he also it knows that his character did reach a bunch of folks and did inspire a lot of folks. There is a great story there, and he played it well. But that's it's neither here nor there to what his experiences were. And yeah, you're making me think of the early days. The reaction video of him watching the trailer for the first time and like leaping over the couch, and I just remember thinking, I'm so glad this man's in Star Wars. And then in many ways, the first through the breach on what was coming with the culture war around Star Wars, or the culture war being brought into the Star Wars discussion, him facing that, and yeah, that's it's for I don't think it's forgotten. It's definitely not forgotten by him, but I think as Star Wars has gone, we're 12 years or so past that kind of era of him popping up in the teaser trailer, and there's no black stormtroopers being just this conversation that people were having without any thought. A lot of people just think, well, what's that? It's almost like it was a canon air versus the bigger conversation that it was and is. So to see him go from that, I love his joy for Star Wars. I want him to be here. I also think it was painful, painful in a way that made me even stop and learn and listen to what he was experiencing, with just feeling, the bait and switch of the ad campaign and the move to a certain direction with the character, which I do believe is true without a doubt. As much as I love the character and love his arc, he was speaking the truth. And the only excitement I have for this forward thing is, if he is at any way open or, looking to the future with his character, like that's encouraging to me, because it would only be done with his interest and input and experiences that now would shape the character in a better way going forward. It would need to.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Finn's arc really does work. I think everybody's arc in the sequel trilogy really does work. But I also am open to the criticisms of, this isn't what we intended. This isn't what we started on. He's talked about not having as much nuance as he had wanted, or feeling like a lot of the people of color characters did not get as much nuance or focus. So I mean, I think it to me, it's just really cool that he was able to express honestly what he's feeling. He had a conversation with somebody from Disney. At some points, he said, "Nah, I think I'm done with Star Wars." To like, I'm open to it again. To like, new team, I'll call him up. It's the way a lot of us should, solve problems. Be honest about what is upsetting to us. Be open to conversations, and be honest about what we need. I doubt that phone call is like, please, anywhere you can fit Finn in. I'm sure that conversation is, we're in this unique position where your company, Lucasfilm, Disney, owns this character.
Yeah.
But to the public, I am this character. And so we both have two halves of this medallion. What do I need? What do you need? I hope it's that kind of conversation, because it's just such an interesting and unique and true thing for actors who embody these characters to know their value.
Yeah. Absolutely. And again, it would be encouraging, even if it was just a phone call and, hey, congrats on the job and what's going on, and you ever want to chat, like just being open to it. Again, the future of the films right now is a little bumpy and murky as we start a new era of film, but there's also other places to have this character go on screen. So it's a good thing.
Yeah. I very much hope that it works out for him and for all of us, and for all the Finn fans out there. It's nice to see in the chat that people were really excited about Finn and about anything sequel trilogy related being in the news, which I think will happen more and more. Ken, I got thinking about this really interesting relationship. Obviously, actors can be replaced for age, or just, hey, something didn't work out and an actor gets recast, like, with Bail Organa.
Right.
But with some of these big main characters and big names, like, I don't think you would bring Finn back without John Boyega. I don't think you'd bring Poe back without Oscar Isaac. It is this different sort of power that actors don't always have, which got me thinking about, how much actors can move the needles these days. And I went on this weird flight of fantasy of like, what if Harrison Ford, like maybe in like the late 80s, early 90s, was like, you know what? I'd like to revisit Han Solo. And like, could he have made it happen? If he called George Lucas in 1992 saying, you know what, George, I want to do a Han movie. Do you think Harrison Ford could have made it happen?
Yeah, I think so. At that time, the era you're putting it into, like, including Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, that era, I think it might have forced George's hand a bit, especially if he went public with it. Imagine if Harrison was on radio shows and podcasts, that existed. So it would have been in Starlog magazine or Premiere magazine or something. But it would have been, if it was more immediate and people could react to it. I wonder what George would have. And then, Mark would have, hey, yeah, put me in. Carrie would have been like, maybe, I don't know. But if Harrison was like, let's do it, I think George might have found reason to.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those kind of conversations happen, but it wasn't the same thing where everybody knows so much about the behind the scenes, and it's such a conversation involving fan communities and general public that it is just kind of funny to think about different eras in the way like that. Ewan McGregor was like, I don't want people to think I'm begging for a job, and then after Kenobi came out and went well, he's like, Let's do more. I am not begging for a job in terms of like I'm having a hard time, but asking for it, Laserbolt Vid says, good old Starlog magazine. That's it would have been buried on page 42 of Starlog magazine. Also want to pop this up from our friend of the show, Chris Ryans, who says, the way Boyega and Finn were handled is my biggest gripe. As a Black fan who's been there since I had to wait 18 years between the first and second Black Star Wars character, Finn was a huge deal for me. I have so much respect for that, and I think there's so many people out there who really feel seen because of Finn and because of Boyega and because of the way he has John Boyega has really stood up for himself. I think it's I think like with other people who have been through the grinder not the same thing, but been through the grinder like Ahmed Best. I think there's part of this with Finn and Boyega of like, I want to see the character again, but I also want that victory lap, partially because of everything the actor has been through.
Indeed. Absolutely. Yeah.
Any other thoughts on John Boyega's forward possible return to Star Wars?
Look, I think it's a great story. I'd love to get the full context. We'll see if there's a report of them having lunch. Maybe a meetup in London somewhere, something like that, and then we'll speculate away. A lot of people when the show started in chat saying, "Hey, this is great news," but wake me when there's a trailer, wake me when there's news, and I actually connect with that as well too. That's why I think up top we had a little bit of fun with the story. But again, I think if there's any merit or weight to it or meat to the story, it is the fact that John would even say that is a different feeling and vibe from some of the stuff he said correctly in the past.
Yeah, we're so lucky because he could have been like, I did that. That's great. Thanks.
Yep.
So I'm
no, not me. Yeah.
Extremely happy he's on the phone with Dave Filoni. There you go. All right. Not anywhere near as big of news, but related in a strange way in my mind. A video game version of Star Wars Monopoly is being released. Here's what the article has to say. Ubisoft has been quietly working on a new take on the Monopoly board game centered on the galaxy far, far away. Monopoly Star Wars: Heroes versus Villains will take fans across the entire Skywalker saga and beyond, representing the most iconic characters across the 9 movies in a battle between the dark side and the light. As with all versions of the game, Monopoly Star Wars will have its real estate based upon iconic locations from across the galaxy, which can be fully seen as visual pop-up sections on the board as players land on spaces. However, the game will take a team-based approach, both with 2v2 and 3v3 matchup options, along with plenty of gameplay twists. They'll keep players surprised. Seen in the header image above, the roster of playable characters includes the following. And now, this is really why I wanted to talk about this. Okay. The roster of playable characters. I opened this up and I was like, so wait, what is this? Is this a video game? Wait, what's going on here? I figured out it was a video game. But then I saw the roster of characters in this Monopoly Star Wars video game. Here's the characters on the light side. Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Yoda, Bo-Katan Kryze, Finn, Jyn Erso, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Padme Amidala, Rey Skywalker, Rose Tico, and Ahsoka Tano. Dark side, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Boba Fett, Dedra Meero, General Grievous, Aurra Singh, Cad Bane, Captain Phasma, Count Dooku, Maul, Morgan Elsbeth, Asajj Ventress, Kylo Ren, and Reva. So I wanted to chat about this lineup, and I'll try not to spiral out of control, but it's just a video game, and a video game that I'm not sure is going to fly off shelves because it's Monopoly is a video game. But this lineup is more diverse in every way. It's more representative of women. It is more representative of people of color characters. It is more representative of all of the different types of storytelling in this. This is not the like, all right, hooray, the bad times are over, we've won. But anything moving in a direction of celebrating diversity of characters in every definition of diversity in a lineup like this is fantastic news to me. What are your thoughts on this?
I think this is an amazing collection. It's an all-star team, and every once in a while an all-star team there's a couple players that get on there. You're like, they chose a middle release pitcher. That's interesting. Dedra Meero, that is right? A bonkers choice. I think it's perfect for Monopoly. She's the one that would want to win at Monopoly. Morgan Elsbeth is great too. I think she would want to win. She has won at Monopoly. Reva I guess we're finding the character on the beginning of her journey of Kenobi. Asajj Ventress hasn't decided her direction as well, but I get it in terms of characters. No, it's fascinating. It's a fascinating list, and I agree with what you're saying about the big picture of it. And in an era where we don't even hear the name of Padme on shows or much in the Star Wars world, to have her listed here too is fascinating as well. Rose Tico. Yeah, it's it makes me want to try it at least once.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like everybody's saying, Haja says, I love that it covers various stories, mediums, and diversity too. Um, I feel like Rose Tico and Riva very unfairly have been lightning rod characters because the stories that they're in have garnered a lot of criticism, and they have just received, racist, sexist attacks as characters and actors. So it feels to me like there have been times where companies, Lucasfilm, Disney, and Ubisoft, would just be like, let's not stir the hornet's nest. They didn't need Rose Tico or Riva in these lists. In the fact that they're there, I like those characters. I particularly love Riva. I was having a shower conversation myself the other day with, I wish Kenobi had gone over better. I wish things had gone better for Riva because I like that character and I think the actor did a fabulous job. And to just see her name at all, in the action figure world, we still only get certain kinds of characters, and some are like, they're still afraid of Rise of Skywalker. They haven't made gimme characters from Rise of Skywalker, like the Emperor in his restored gowns, or Kylo with his cracked helmet. So many different aspects of Star Wars can have a like, let's just Luke Skywalker again. Let's just play the hits.
Yeah.
So to go for these characters and celebrate them is great.
I agree. This is I'm surprised there's this many. And I would love to get behind the peek into the conversations about this. And this is a lot of what the story group handles, is this kind of stuff, as the clearances and line ended up and everything like that. So I'd love to see who was like, hey, it'd be great in Monopoly, the capitalist game of power. Dramiro.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too, of like, does the company Ubisoft just have metrics of what they think their audience is, and they're like, no, screw you. This is hey, you know what, diversity is actually good for business. Ever think of that? Man, people are pointing out that there's no Mando, which is weird, because it is a mix of kind of like big hits, big names, and Andor represented, the Kenobi show represented, we got Bo-Katan Kryze, but not Mando. So maybe did Bo-Katan bumped in?
That's a great question. Is again, there's no rhyme or reason, I would think, to the game of Monopoly and who would be good at it within Star Wars. I do think Mandalorian Din Djarin would not be good at it, and Grogu would eat all the pieces, so we can't have that there. But it is interesting. But look, hey, I would say, where's Jod Nawood? Let's put Jod on.
Yeah,
let's put him there.
Come on. We got 730 Evie saying Reva's great. I loved Obi-Wan. So great to hear people being positive about that show and that character, because I love them. Ken, will this be replacing Fortnite for you?
It won't. Depending on the price point, I might never see this game. But I do have a special place in my heart for Star Wars Monopoly. In fact, was it on the Patreon page? Way back.
YouTube, I think.
YouTube as well, too. I have to figure that out. We have me, Joseph, and Jennifer playing Star Wars Monopoly, which I found my little Kenner minifigs that had been buried there for about 20 years, and I did not know they were there. So I have a lot of good memories of playing Star Wars Monopoly. It's still a weird pairing, but any kind of the IP versions of Monopoly are weird. The history of Monopoly, the game, is weird. Check out Toy Galaxy. Dan Larson has a great mini doc on the story behind it, about what the game began as and what it ended up as. So yeah, anyways, to answer your question, if it was a $16.99 or something like that, or free with add-on purchases, I'd give it a go around. I don't want to play with other people though. I don't know. That seems like what Fortnite is about, playing with friends and playing with other people. But I don't have to talk to the strangers. I don't have to worry about that. And I'm not saying you would here, but we'll see. I'll give it a go. You know what? I'm pretty sure Alex and Molly will get it. And if they get it, we can play them. You and me, 2-on-2 versus Alex and Molly.
Yeah, this is about my speed, if I ever do manage to get a PlayStation 5, about the amount of time I can give to a video game. I think I won't get too terribly obsessed at winning Monopoly. I'll love to see in a video game setup where you can't necessarily just do your custom house rules, how it is going to be set up. Oh, yay.
Alex is in.
He's
Gauntlet
in.
been laid down.
I'm sorry they don't have bigs. It's got great variety and representation, but no bigs, Dark Glitter. Come on. Yeah, we don't need to go on and on about Monopoly, obviously, but I do think it is quite relevant to the times we live in and the themes of Star Wars in helping one another, since the actual game is famous for being slow, but it's only slow when you help one another by having community funds that everybody has access to potentially. When you play it the way it's designed, it's fast and brutal way to crush your loved ones and send them to the poorhouse real fast if you don't have those community rules where you lift one another up and help out when you're down. Yeah. Anyway,
it taught us all well.
I'm fascinated by this because I'm like, on one hand, I'm so excited about this list of characters. So like, great. Oh, the light side is returning. This is great. Fantastic. And then there's this side of me that's just kind of a grumpy old man. Like, they put Monopoly on a video game? Why? It's a board game.
Look, to be honest, I did play Commodore 64's version of Monopoly with my dad. That was very, very 2D and flat. And Alex is saying no metal mustache piece. Yeah, we'll get some of that. But could the game be twisted around a little bit to where if you're dark side, your goal is to acquire property, and if you're light side, your goal is to take it back for the community? I can't imagine Padme Amidala being like, I've just acquired Boardwalk Place and Park Place. It's mine. It's mine. I can't imagine Padme.
Yes. Padme being like, no, you owe me too much rent, so you're evicted, Boba Fett. That's not. It's not really Padme's vibe, is it? A lot of cognitive dissonance in Star Wars Monopoly.
Love it.
All right. We got one more story. You seen any questions to address, Ken?
No. Everything. Hodge is saying Palpatine sure was good at Star Wars Monopoly. He was. Unlimited property.
Gaz said a while back, playing Battlefront 2 right now, it's still great fun. Is it available on PlayStation 5 for when I do my Monopoly upgrade?
Yeah, I have it. I have it on mine too. Yeah.
Yep. Dr. Professor says Padme wouldn't build space hotels. Yes, I think she would build space hotels for the people who need shelter. She'd give it away. She'd raise taxes on Palpatine's hotel to pay.
You can't tax Sheev Tower.
Unlimited tax breaks. All right. Speaking of the dark side, here we go now to our final story this episode. The Star Wars social media accounts shared a picture revealing the episode titles for Maul Shadow Lord. Chapter 1 is called The Dark Revenge. Chapter 2, Sinister Schemes. Chapter 3, Whispers in the Unknown. Chapter 4, Pride and Vengeance. Chapter 5, Inquisition. Chapter 6, Night of the Hunted. Chapter 7, Call to the Oblivion. Chapter 8, The Creeping Fear. Chapter 9, Strange Allies. In Chapter 10, Finale. So I want to talk about the titles big picture, but I kind of can't ignore that. I do not think Finale is actually called Finale. I think it is is it a secret title that only the Sith know? Ken, what are your thoughts on Chapter 10? Finale.
Yeah, I think it's going to be revealed. I think yes, that sounds good. Yeah, because it's going to be like something that would be too plot specific, and then comes Kira, or something like that. It'll be that. Yeah,
I think it's Hayden Vader. I will speculate responsibly, and I will let it go if that's not it. But I think it's Shadow of the One Special Boy, or
that's the one special boy emerging. Yeah,
especially
Strange Allies is the pairing on May 4th. Who are they allied against?
Yes. Yeah, I think about Maul being so mad about Anakin.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep thinking of him. Thinking of Vader's,
Is it-
oh, you're a special boy. You're one special boy, the chosen one.
Oh.
Amaranth says, I like to put the words Nancy Drew and before each title.
That's amazing. Yes.
Nancy Drew and the call to the oblivion. So Ken,
Yeah.
I am over the dark moon about these titles.
Mhm.
They're moody, pulpy, gothic. They're Lovecraftian cosmic horror. The whole cosmic horror thing is we are tiny ants in a giant cosmos that we do not fully understand and can never fully understand. Cthulhu is terrifying because just seeing him will drive you insane. And all of these title structures hint toward that sort of like even cosmic terror of the unknown, the oblivion, the creeping fear. They're even a step forward from the horror goth heavy metal elements. I mean, this sounds like a lost a track list from like a lost Metallica album.
It really does.
Amazing. So how are you feeling about them?
Love these titles, and I was going to tell myself, don't look into them, don't dig into them. But Strange Allies, it makes me automatically have some wonderful questions. Yeah, no, these are great Maul titles, and I've learned enough to not over predict from them. But like I said, it's hard not to with the Dark Revenge and Whispers in the Unknown, and you know, if that could be a hunt for Maul and all that good stuff. It's great. I will say this though, I am a little. You've also on the list put the dates. And I can see the exact episodes where I will no longer be in my 40s watching Star Wars, and I'm having a little bit of issue with that. I'm looking to the future. Inquisition and Night of the Hunted will be a new era for me.
Yeah, Night of the Hunted. That's what it feels like to be over 50. Night of the Hunted. At least you're not. It's not your birthday right before Call to the Oblivion. Yeah, I think there's obviously they're fun and there's a vibe, and I love how much maybe the show itself won't go as hard as the titles and the trailers. And I'm preparing myself for that too. Of it's not gonna go as hard as they have been, but they've been so specific and so different in the vibe that this is a show with a dark sider at the center. Just reading these titles it's so cool as an audience member and fun, but it's also sad to read these titles and think this is what Maul is dealing with each week. If these were like how each entry of his weekly diary was titled, they're just like a great reminder of how awful it is to be trapped in the dark side, right? Where all of these titles are about being surrounded by fear, distrust, unfulfilled desires, something coming for you at all times, just paranoia. The titles are also just like a great summary of the mood of being trapped in the dark side to me.
Yeah, no, this is a pathway to darkness right here. This is a therapy playbook on how not to do it, I think. No, I like it. I like everything you're saying. I'm very excited for the show. Very excited. My only regret is my only lament, I should say, is that it's 2 episodes every week. I wish it was a little bit more, but I get it.
You wish it was like a longer experience?
Yeah. I wish it was. But I'm not. It's not something I'm going to super complain about. It's not abnormal now to do this, and it worked well for Andor. So I think these episodes probably pair well together, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, I hope that they're structured well to go together, because that is what ended up working out for Andor. That was a lot to watch 3 episodes.
It was,
and then discuss them all, but it was like one meal because each one was one story, and I'm very curious to see how these break up.
Indeed. Yeah, no, it'll be fun. And look, I know they're shorter too, so a little less investment, but I like when Star Wars, new Star Wars shows up over a longer period of time.
Yeah, and the fast release can contribute to a like, hey, chew your food as fast as you can, swallow and get on to biting the next one. Which does. I'm so excited for Maul and Mandalorian Grogu, and it feels a little like with the Maul release schedule of like, get real excited about Maul for a very short period of time, and then because I mean it's those last episodes coming out on May 4th, which means there's going to be other stuff going on, and yeah.
Mando and Grogu push will be in full swing.
Oh yeah.
We hope.
Yeah. All right, so that is our look at the news. Big Boyega phone call, some hope from Monopoly, and some darkness from the Maul titles.
There you go. I want to shout out also another super chat here from Steve Breedlove. Here's some couple credits. Thanks for what you do. There you go. I think that's about it. Unless anyone has any questions, we're wrapping a little early today because both of us have some work to do. And how long can you talk about forwards? How long can you talk about forward? It's the question here. We'll be back Wednesday with a new episode of Star Wars Questions. It'll be live on Friday again. Thanks to all those who called in last Friday. And, we appreciate you being part of this community. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page. We really could use and appreciate your support if we have it already from you. But go to patreon.com/ForceCenter and get into our Discord, get the call link to the shows, get to ask questions. All those things are there. Patreon.com/ForceCenter. Also, check out the merch shop. If you're watching on YouTube live, leave a like, leave a comment. If you're watching later, and let us know you're part of the later crew. Hype up the video, all those things to help us in 2026 survive on the internet. Oh, it can be a little difficult. But that's it. As Phantom Otaku says, thanks, guys. We're going to start heading on home. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can find me, Cat Knapsack. Joseph, where do you want them to find you?
You can find me right now on my YouTube channel. I am putting in the chat the link to the most recent short film I released. It's called The Demon's Commentary, and I think Maul would like this. So I think you should check out a short horror film that I think Maul would enjoy.
There you go. That's it. See ya. Bye.